Working on some interior designing today. We did some blocking, covered up the top of the iron farm. It still functions as long as the ceiling is at least 6 blocks above the spawning bed, because they can only spawn within plus or minus 6 blocks of where the beds are, and the lowest point is way down there, and so the highest point is going to be somewhere up here. And so I just made sure that I went up at least 6 blocks and then boxed it off. And so now I can clad this whole thing in a building, and we don't need to have that big open sky water pot in the top. And you can, as you can tell, you can just listen. Uh, it's doing its thing. Yeah. And down here, I did some blocking here. These are going to be stairs. Right now, again, we're just laying it out with smooth stone blocks. Um, so we're going to have a little upsy downsy here where you have stairs that come up, and there'll be a landing here where you can kind of look out over the storage system, this part of it, and then another landing up here, and then I got plans for this. We'll see how they work with this. I may need to adjust my plans a little bit, but there are plans. This chest is the input for bulk storage. Put stuff in here, and then it comes down right there and zips along that hopper line and feeds in. Here, I'll show. Just to show what it looks like. And there's 2 hoppers underneath there, so it pulls items out at twice hopper speed, so 2 at a time. And they get funneled down, and you can see they're starting to go into the system here because they made it from there all the way over to here, and now they're funneling in. These lights are blinking, indicating that there's stuff going through the hopper line. We got to start on the decoration above. And I pulled out all of the extraneous blocks down here that were in the way of building, that were not necessary for something. So every block that's placed down here, with the exception of this crafting bench, is part of either the iron farm system, which is all of this gubbins here, or our super smelter, or our lava farm. So those are all the placed blocks. So that's what we have to work around. This is what we have to accommodate in here, and I have to try to not fall down that hole. No promises on that one. So now we have to look at what the shape of this space looks like and what we can still do with it. We still need multi-item storage. This is bulk storage. The output for multi-item storage is actually right here. This is the end of the line, so anything that makes it all the way through my multi-item storage system will sit in this hopper. We're currently just kind of park in this hopper right here and be stuck. The goal is to have it feed down into our primary storage system, our actual multi-item storage system. So we feed stuff in up there, it goes through bulk first, everything that's bulk gets dumped into bulk, everything else goes down into the main storage system. And I originally had an idea that maybe we would put it here, put our main storage here, but this is already starting to feel a little tight. And I want to have room to do some interior decorating in here. So I think that what we're going to do is we're actually going to funnel it down. And we'll go down a level and put the multi-item sorter downstairs. And so to that end, I started, blocking up this stuff up here. Um, mm, mm, mm. And so we have that and that and see what I did there? I put it and then left it. And that and then this. And then we'll work these stairs to have them function. But for now, we'll just build this like that. So right now that won't, right? But my plan is to have a stair there, and a stair there. And so then something else for the floor here. Um, maybe even the packed mud. Might not be bad. Like that. And we got to move our HR rep because they are kind of blocking the door a little bit. It's not great to get punched while you're doing stuff. And we don't even really need them in there anymore. There's plenty of space even down here for them. But for now, we want to move them at least a little bit. So, all right, let's dump out our pockets and get some rails, and then we can move our HR rep here. A little bit of wood. Oh, I got more junk in here. All right, there. All right, let's grab some rails. Restock on cooked pork. And then back on up. And this hole is eventually going to be gone too. There will be a water elevator coming up and down when I decide where that is. So here, under here, you can see this is the floor of the level above. And this is here because did this cool thing with the magma, so we got a little bit of a ceiling there. But this is our space down here. So, and I'm digging this down, and I'm going to actually put in walls all the way around, and this is going to go all the way down. So there's plenty of space down here. This is the entire footprint of the building above, plus plus a couple of blocks. That layer, that original footprint of stone that I put up there, I just kind of went one block all the way around, and then dug it all out. And so now there's tons of room down here for more stuff, and so we can put our storage system right down here. Hey Jacob, good to see you. So, rails. Doing well. How are you doing? It's good to see you again. You can see we've been a little busy gotten some stuff done. Working on building this place out a little bit. Right now we need to move our HR rep over because they are unfortunately in an inconvenient location. Here, you get to go be over here. Alright, now let's do this. There you go. Now, we're going to herd you over there. Go on. Go be over there. No, actually, I'm not. But apparently, you can actually set up for subs and stuff like that without being affiliated. It's just that you won't. Hang on. It's just that whatever money that people donate, like with the value of bits and stuff like that, it just goes into like the account, and I can use it to give people gift subs and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I've got a list of emotes and badges and stuff that I want to work on. All right, and we're gonna put some of this rail up here for now. And we're gonna sleep because sky rats. There we go. Now then, we want to continue building this out. And so you can see kind of where I'm going. We've got another couple of blocks to cover up above that copper line in a lot of places. In some places we don't. We're here. We're already, like for over here, we're already here, right? We're already in the line. Once I get yeah, once I get affiliated, that's probably going to be because the fact is that until I've put as much money into this as I'm going to put into it, at least for now. So yeah, so once we get affiliated, and I can then use the money that people donate and generously give on the stream. I can then use that to pay artists to do emotes and badges and stuff like that. Because I want to do it right, and I want to do right by the artists that I use. Um, and so I don't want to seem like I'm taking advantage of people. So, but on the other hand, I need to kind of make sure that I don't just continue to throw throw money down a well to a certain extent. You know what I mean? So I kind of got to take care of us too. It's what it is. So we'll get there. We will get there. Um, mm, 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 mm. See, that's butting right up against that. So that is going to be that's going to be the floor of up there. And then whatever I do down here is going to be visible. Oh yeah, I can add emotes now. I can totally add emotes now. I don't have anything custom. It'll just be all the stock stuff that comes with Twitch. Um, I mean, it's everything that's on there already. I mean, the basic channel stuff. There's is already there, the global ones and all that. I'd like to get some custom ones eventually. Again, like I said, I want to pay appropriately for the work. And until I can manage that, I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to you know, we always have time to do it right the second time. So I'm going to try to do things right the first time. All right. So that copper is right up against that ceiling. So if I want that to stay visible, I'm going to need to kind of do something fancy. And I kind of want these lights to be visible down here too. Dude, I would love emotes, but I'm not. I would need. I need to pay for them. I need to pay for them. It's not right for for somebody to do stuff for quote unquote exposure, or whatever. You should get compensated for it. All right. What now? Let's think about this. That copper's all going to age eventually. I took this all out of my. I took all this copper out of uh, my copper mine, otherwise known as a trial chamber. Um, Rather than mining it and cooking it. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. That's gonna be the floor up above. And I don't necessarily want the floor up above to be the ceiling down below. Those need to be stairs in order to be visible. In order for the chest to open. Those need to be stairs. Hmm. How do I want to do this? I kind of want to have some stairs insetting these lights in the ceiling so that they shine down through. I think that'd be good. And then I don't know, we might just do a slabbed ceiling. I might have gotten way fancier with this up here than I needed to. If you want to send me some examples, brother, you're welcome to. I'll let them happily take a look at them. But I'm not going to be ordering anything anytime soon. So just be aware of that. Just be aware. Um, mm, mm, I don't know what I'm doing here. And so this is part of what this is today. Part of this is I'm just kind of trying to figure out what the decoration is going to be. I mean, to be honest, man, I don't even know. Because that's the thing. I'm so new to this that I don't have any basis for uh, deciding. All right, now this isn't final, of course. This is just me laying out some stuff. But deep slate is definitely in our build palette for down here. So maybe just a line like that. That doesn't look bad with it sticking out like that. And then I can walk it up. Awesome. And then I can walk it out a little bit. Now, do I want polished? Let's look at deep slate and see what we can do here. And we're using lots of block, or plenty of blocks, or all the blocks. I think it's called all the blocks, actually. Using all the blocks, so that means that we've got a lot of options first. And we've got the standard deep slate stuff, and then we've got these. Well, these are full blocks. See, that's not going to do me any good. All right. Problem with all the blocks is that it's only blocks. It doesn't do slabs and stairs. So the custom blocks off of there are just that. So we are limited in our slab and stair palette. I appreciate you, man. Alright, let's look at slabs. What do we got? And we want to take our existing build palette into account. We don't want to. We're not limited by it, but we want to take it into account. So, by doing deep slate down here, and then the calcite here, and then the copper here, going back to the deep slate does kind of nicely bring up and down together. So that's really the direction I'm thinking about. Although blackstone is a possibility, but I think deep slate's better. Actually, I think I have some tile slabs over at the inn. Let me go get those. Oh, hello. Alright. Now, let's clear out some of the riffraff here. I really appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot of bots. So you've also see here I've cleaned some of this out. I'm going to clear more of this. I'm going to deepen this channel. And we're actually going to put in a bridge over here. But not today. Yeah, I really appreciate you. You came and hang out. Finding people that are genuine and want to come and work, come and hang out is rare. So I really appreciate it. Those are stairs. Oh, I can put this granite in the system. Yeah, those are stairs. But we have some of these tiles, so that's good. And we have some of these. Okay, let's take a look. And the same reason, like, I appreciate the connection, and you offered, to make them for me, and I appreciate that. But on this, and then the same token, I want to make sure that um, you get appropriately treated. I think a mix. I don't know. Man, we are outside my area of expertise. I mean, both of them are cool. I think that they both have a place. Um, you don't want to use too many of one or the other, I would assume. Yeah. All right. And so I just dumped all that granite into the system. So one of these silos is going to start lighting up as the granite gets there, whichever one's got the granite in it. There we go. So that's happily churning away. All right. Hmm. Let's try these. That's the polished. How do the tiles look? As a single line. Of course, some stuff got stuck up there. I don't know. I think the polish is might be better. Well, let's put one up and we'll try it. And then if we hate it, we'll pull it down. And then we'll do something else. Hey, Dingle Hopper, how's it going? I can't reach. There we go. I think that this polished is the way to go. Oh, that one's too far down. Get it all figured out? Figure out what was blocking it? Alright, now I need to do this because we've actually got a little bit of more headroom up there to decorate with. I want to keep it, so. Hey, we found out where the cats are stashing the toys, huh? One of the places. think that looks well. And then maybe we'll mirror it on the other side. Working on the ceiling for the. So this is the bulk storage. I showed this before. I got rid of all the interior. We're getting down to the wire on what goes in here now, and so I pulled out all the extraneous blocks in here, um, so that I know what has to be in here. So this is the gubbins for the iron farm. All this stuff that's here kind of needs to be here. This is my super smelter, and this is my lava generator. These are the bits that are necessary for those. So those need to be there. This is the staircase that's going to come down from up here. So when you come out this door from the trading hall, you'll come out here, and then you'll be able to go up, and then there'll be room up here, and then that's the spawning bed for the golems up there, and then you'll be able to go down into here. And so now I'm just trying to figure out what this is going to look like down here. I mean, you weren't on when I mentioned it. So when my original thought was to have the multi-item storage down here, but I don't think there's enough room. So we're going to run it downstairs. I'm going to just run a line all the way down. So that's going to beg a question. Yeah, that's from the all the blocks add-on. That's a some kind of carved blackstone. It's really cool looking. So we're gonna need to pull this, and then I think what we'll do is we'll get sneaky with this and actually pull this way, and then run it down there, and then it'll feed into our storage system down there. In fact, let's just poke that hole. Boop. There we go. And then go get those hoppers and just do that. We don't have the details worked out yet, but we have an idea. So let's grab some hoppers. I can get rid of some of this extra stuff in my pockets. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Do I have any more polished deep slate? I do not. Okay. And we'll grab a little dirt. So as you can see, the bulk storage system, these two chests are full. And those lights are lit up. And so these ones are not. This one is partial. And once all of these are full, all those lights are lit up, and then it'll funnel stuff into that shulker box. And it'll just fill the shulker box, and then any full shulker boxes will wind up down here. And we'll get more shulker boxes and put them in there. That's the input for the shulkers right there. We're going to build a shulker farm. And so we'll get all the shulker boxes we need. We don't have very many right now, but we have enough to for using and carrying around, but not enough to put a chest full of shulkers in every one of these bulk storage silos. We're not there yet. All right, Neo, let's get up here. Let's Set the counter. How many times is he going to fall off the thing? Alright. Now, don't need this one. Oops, I did need that one. Alright. And then, actually no, I didn't need that one. I need that one to turn, because I need to go this way. There, that shoots into there, which shoots into there, shoots into there, all of that, and then I fall off the thing, so that's twice. And then I just need to kind of scooch in here. Nope, that's the wrong spot. Alright, let's do it here. Alright. And now these hoppers can come down, and now I need to not fall down the hole. Those are all aimed down. Good. Nope. Aimed down. And then whoop. And then like that. And then that'll feed into our multi-item sorter, which will be down here. Cool. And that gets that out of the line. Alright, and I don't need this anymore, really. Awesome. And that just disappears around that corner. That's perfect. Just a little building today. We did our fight on the Ender Dragon last time. Did some end busting with some friends. So now, back to building, which is what I really enjoy doing. The action stuff is okay. The adventure stuff is alright. Minecraft isn't really a great combat game. Uh, I am interested in the winter drop with the Nautilus and the spear and all that. That's all sounds like good stuff. I wonder what they're gonna do. Where did I pick you up? Random polished deep-plate stair from somewhere. I wonder what else they're going to include. Because so far it's the Nautilus, which is cool for people who like to build underwater and explore underwater. And the spear, which is adding some great mobility for uh, combat. Thanks, Jacob. I'll take a look at them. I'm not going to stop downstream to go look. I appreciate you. I will check it after streaming. Exactly. Thanks, man. Thank you for understanding. Uh, then, so I'm interested to see what else they're going to do in this drop. Um, it's because they like to include stuff for every community in their drops. And so far, it's exploration driven, combat driven. You can argue that it's building driven, but it isn't really because building on a Nautilus isn't going to be any easier than swimming. It's going to be easier to stand on the ground because you're still suffering from block breaking problems while riding the Nautilus, just like you are riding anything. So unless they tweak that so that you don't have the block break penalty while sitting on a Nautilus, nobody's going to build sitting on a Nautilus. It's good for holding on to your air. If you're just placing blocks, it's okay. It'll be good. But if you're not just placing blocks, I mean, I'm never when I'm building just merely placing blocks because you always screw up and place something wrong, and then you got to fix it and move it around, and it's a whole thing. So I think we're gonna do it on this side too. So let's just lean into that. Let's do that 3 wideband in the middle all the way around. Oh, I know. It will. It absolutely will. Yeah, we want to do. I want to do all the things. Custom emotes, badges for different tiers. You know, maybe get a Discord server set up eventually, something like that. But just taking it one step at a time, my friend. That is 1, 2, 3. Nope. See that right there is exactly why the Nautilus isn't great for building, because you are going to have to break blocks. You just are. And so people that say that say, well, it's great for placing blocks. Well, that's nice, but when you're building, you're not just placing. You have to be able to break because you're going to place stuff and screw it up. You know. So, all right, now let's just do this. And do I jump that? I mean, tomorrow I'm actually going with a friend to do some blacksmithing tomorrow night. So no, unfortunately, we're gonna be we're gonna be doing a little stuff in the forge. It's gonna be neat. Yeah. Boop, and then boop. Making a. We forged some steel a few weeks back, and now we're gonna turn it into a knife. We took the lump ingot and did some press work on it with a hydraulic press. And now this time we're actually going to get started and do actual forge work. It's going to look a lot less squash banana shaped and a lot more knife shaped. Ha ha ha. I right now I basically only stream on Wednesdays. Um, I occasionally stream on Sundays, but I don't do it regularly enough to schedule it. So I don't want to. I don't want to put something on a calendar and then not be able to follow through on it. All right, so that informs a decision right there. See, because like what I original thought was that I was going to have these lights visible down here, but if you'll notice, I'm covering it up a little bit over here. These aren't exactly square. This underground footprint isn't is a little offset, which is interesting. And I think it's the staircase. I think it's the staircase that's messing me up. But it's what it is. But this is why I like to just get into it and start building because these design you'll have ideas of what you want to do and then you can plan for it. You should try to plan for stuff, and then some folks go into a creative world and do a whole bunch of building and planning there, and it's good to do that, especially if you're you don't know what materials you want to use, and so you want to try to experiment with the whole palette. Dude, it's cause I'm a channel of me. That's why. That is exactly why. Yeah, I don't have people yet, so when I see a bot come in, I gotta stop what I'm doing and go deal with it. That's what it is, you know. Luckily, I don't get a ton of them because again, we're a pretty small channel, right? So that means that kind of fly below the radar a little bit. Yeah, they'll. So the I have it set up. Um, I have it set up so that chat is delayed a little bit. You've probably noticed that when you type in a chat, it takes a minute for it to actually show up. Um, and new first time chatters, not only is it delayed like it is for everybody, but oh, hello friend. Um, but it actually highlights it on the screen for me. So it'll be there'll be a big box around it that goes first time chatting, and it'll show what it is. And so that's my opportunity to look at it and go, oh nope, that's a bot. I can tell because of the way they're talking. And then I kick them out of here. And if I'm paying enough attention, you guys don't even notice. Um, I had one last week that I didn't notice until after the time frame went down. There. All right. All right. So we got that idea in, and we're gonna do walls. Obviously, these blocks are gonna get replaced. Not sure by what yet. And we're kind of limited to slabs for our ceiling, just because. Well, not really. But now what I could do is I could do stair, stair, block, and then we'd have this cool ridge running down the middle. That might be neat. But again, working kind of with our block palette here. So we're using deep slate, we're using calcite. Calcite doesn't have stairs. We're using copper. We're using mud up here. We're using granite up here. We're using tuff up here. I appreciate you, man. I really do. When it gets to that point, you know? All right. Um, so we have an opportunity for kind of a stair block stair thing going on along our ceiling, and then we can have like another, my friend. Um, we can have an opportunity for a line of blocks down the middle that'll put a little interesting ridge in the ceiling. But then the question begs of how we do that, or what we want, what blocks we want to use. All right, so let's go grab some blocks. We want to do a different block, I think. It needs to be something with stairs. So we're looking at possibilities. It could be a wood. We could also do like a polished tuff or a tuff brick. That might be interesting. So we went to a dark color. So we went white to green to a dark color on the edge. And now we're going to have at least two more strips of color along the top. And then possibly something in the middle. What I'm talking about is obviously not with these blocks. Obviously not with these blocks, but let me just show you what I'm talking about. Find a spot. Something like that. And then a block in the middle. And so we could have the two strips on the sides be light colored and then a contrast down the middle. And that middle line could also be where we put our lights. So we could put lights in the ceiling. Custom CAT. Is that what it is? Custom. Where are those light blocks? So there's a ton of light blocks that were added in that. We also have the furnishings add-on put in. So there's stuff to do there too. Is it here? Where's that book? Yeah, CVL. This thing. CVL in the crafting bar. There. These are all the lights that are available with this add-on. And some of these are going to be a little... Like this is the mud brick with glowstone that I used upstairs. It's got it doesn't show it here, but it has a little tiny thing of glowstone in the middle. So there's options for stuff from the ceiling too. But anyway, so we do something like that and then another block in the middle. So again, just to have a block, so like that. Obviously not these blocks. These are not the right blocks. That's the idea. Now going from I think a plainish white. Right. Yeah, these are not the blocks you're looking for. These are the blocks we're stuck with, however. I think a white. What do we got for stairs? Because we've already got the calcite, and then we go into the deep slate. We go from the calcite to the copper to the deep slate, and then maybe back to a white. Maybe diorite, maybe polished diorite, because that's kind of nearish there. Let's go to look. And I got some polished diorite. And the cool part about this is that, mess it up, just rip it out. Alright, let's try this out. Oh, awesome, Jacob. Thank you so much. That's great. Hopefully they'll come and hang out. What? Alright, now, if we do... No, that's the block. That's not what I want. Let's try this again, but doing the thing that I said I was going to do instead of the thing that I actually did. Now, if we do... We'll start over here because it's going to make it easier to place. We'll do this. Oops. And then we'll put some lights in the ceiling because unfortunately we are going to have to cover up these. I did want to leverage these, but I don't think it's going to work out. I think it's going to be too much of a problem. Nope. Nope. But see, you imagine, like, if I had the block breaking delay that you have while riding a Nautilus and doing this, I'd be losing my mind. Nope. There we go. See, I got to aim for like the upper right-hand corner right there. Hey, how'd you get in here? No, really, how'd he get in here? Ah, you slipped in over here. Alright, let's do this then. Let's go make sure that all my guys aren't suddenly bit and turned into zombies. Because that'll be the third time that's happened. Alright, nobody's looking green, well, except for you, but, I mean, it's the... Listen, we're not judging culture or anything. You're fine, you're fine. You're beautiful. I love you just the way you are. we'll just put these here as that'll keep them out. All right. I was just about wondering if I needed to get up here and make sure that it was lit on top of this. Because there's room to stand up here. But I think that these lights are... I think that these lights are bright enough. This might be easier up here. It is. Besides, now you might get the opportunity of watching me take a fall off of this thing, as opposed to watching me try to place blocks. Oh, of course, this hopper line gets in the way. That interferes with that whole thing, doesn't it? All right. Nope. Place. There we go. And so let's just take a second now. We got this turn. Let me put the whole turn in, and then we can look at it. Because this is actually a good opportunity. Because this is a full visual representation of what that's going to look like. I think I'm pretty happy with it, actually. There we go. Now, see that? I think that looks good. I almost wish that I didn't have the lines. I wonder. Because I got the lines here, and then the lines here kind of feed into it. Hmm. I like the color though. I like what it's doing. It's kind of bringing this texture up, right? Yeah. I'm not too happy about the line. Now I kind of want to get some plain diorite stairs and see. Uh, see one if diorite stairs have edges on them, which I don't know if it does. If it doesn't, then maybe using straight the texture will be rougher. Okay, so question one. Does not. Okay. Let's turn these into stairs. Because I believe... Nope, can't do anything with these once they're done. Okay, well. Either these will work or they'll end up in the storage system. Alright, so now... Let's pull these back out. Because this gives a whole framing. This little nook right here. So this is our good, like, show model area. Now let's try this with the unpolished ones and see how it looks. Because I'm not as... Now the unpolished texture is a little more stark. Well, that one's up there. There are some blocks that I'm going to exert effort to get up there and get when they fall in a random location. Diorite stairs are probably not one of them. Diorite is not exactly hard to get. Gosh darn it. There we go. Alright, give me a minute to get this in and then we'll look and see. Oh, Zola! Welcome to the stream and thank you for following. Thank you for the follow. Welcome on board. Doing a little building in Bedrock. A little Minecraft. Yeah. Thanks for coming to hang out. And I'm working on decorating this. This is my bulk storage system that's underneath my trading hall iron farm Swiss Army knife thing. All right, now. So I like the fact that it doesn't have the crease. I like that. The texture is noisier. But again, you're not supposed to be sitting there doing this with it either. It's supposed to be, it's going to be down, and we're going to have another opportunity because we're going to put another block right here in the middle, run it all along. Um, we might be able to quiet it down with something else. Oh, you're one of Jacob's friends? Awesome. Yeah, he is. What do I think? I don't know. What do you think? I've said my opinion on the crease on this block. This block is noisier. What do you guys think? Should we do the diorite or should we do the polished? You like the lighter one better? You like the polished one better? I like the texture on the polished one better. I won't lie. Alright, well, unfortunately, calcite doesn't do stairs. Otherwise, we could continue calcite up on the ceiling. One of the many blocks that do not have slabs and stairs. We started at around 7:30, so been going for about an hour, thereabouts. And I tend to go for about 2 hours or so. So I'll go until uh, 9:30 my time. Yeah, right. I would not be the first one to complain about not having slabs and stairs. Why we don't have slabs and stairs for basically every solid block um, is one of those like perennial questions. And there are certain blocks that were like really like concrete. Why aren't there slabs and stairs in concrete? I can go outside right now and point you to some concrete stairs. And concrete is such a saturated block. It's such a bright, colorful block. Then you can do a lot more interesting stuff with it. Because that's the thing is that they're building. When if you're limited to full blocks, then you're really limited on what your builds. Because one pixel is one block, right? So it's hard to smooth out angles and lines and stuff if you don't use slabs and stairs and trapdoors. And now the shelves. Uh, those shelf blocks are great. Those are as close as we're probably going to get to vertical slabs. Super excited about those. Boop. Alright, well now I've got these diorite stairs that I don't need. That's fine. Put this dirt away. And let's go. What do I got left for diorite? Eeh. Alright. Now we're going to go dig some diorite. This is how I fill my storage system. Because more or less every time I need a block, I go dig a shulker full, now that I've got shulkers. And I'll just put it in storage, especially for the bulk blocks. Those stairs can go there. Zombie meat can go there. Hoppers can go there. Alright, let's go get some diorite. Happen to have a great big pile of it right here. Make sure I get my torches out because we're going to be... Yeah. So this is how I do, filling out my bulk storage. Every time I need a bulk block, I just get more of it. Oh. Oh, hey. I have been playing... I don't know, since right before the pandemic, probably. That sounds about right. So, around 2019-ish, probably when I started really getting into it. I didn't really enjoy. I mean, I started off as one of those people that was like, "Oh, why would I play this game? It's all this blocky graphics. It's so weird." Um, and then, there was a period of time where we were stuck inside, and we used it as an opportunity to get together with friends. I had a realm that I shared with them. Actually, the fellas that were here end busting with me. Um, that group of guys. Um, and they're just some of their children. Um, and I just stayed with it. I really got into the building. I started following hermits on Hermitcraft. Um, and then watching them and getting really inspired by what they do. And yeah, that's where all this. Yeah, it's interesting how you get somewhere. Yeah, so I'm one of those folks that came at Minecraft when they were much older. Yeah. It has fluctuated a little bit. Asking what my favorite hermit is, who my favorite hermit is. Um, right now, I think Tango. think Tango is probably my current fave. I like watching Doc. I got started watching Grian because he's just very entertaining. He's just naturally talented entertainer. Grian is, but he also can be a bit much. Uh, Being somebody that can have a kind of a domineering personality, it's very easy to accidentally come off like being a bully. And I think that is where Grian sometimes comes across that way. I absolutely don't think that he is that way. Listening to all the other hermits talk, they say that he is the sweetest guy on the planet, and I have 100% faith that that's true. Um, but it's easy to look like you're being mean, or sound like you're being mean. Especially if folks don't realize that what the hermits are doing. It's you know they're friends and it's a show, right? I mean, so you act outraged because it's entertaining. Um, how about you, Dingle Hopper? Do you have a favorite hermit? Yeah, Gemini and Tango. Yeah, they're both really good. All the hermits are really good. Something that I've run into that was a little bit of a problem early on, though, is that they all play on Java. Um, and so, like, watching, like, Tango or Doc or um, Azuma or any of them that do Redstone, like, what they're doing doesn't match up with what we can do on Bedrock. It's not the same. The mechanics are different. So I had to look for Bedrock content creators too, because like I could see like Impulse or Tango doing a cool farm, and then I'd be like, that's great. And then if I tried to build that, I wouldn't be able. It wouldn't work. I wouldn't be able to make it work because the mechanics are different. Yeah, Doc is really great. He's fun. Um, which led me to there's a handful of Bedrock creators that I follow too. I've mentioned Prowl. Uh, I mentioned Prowl. Prowl 8413. He has done most of the farms that I've done here, like the Iron Farm, the villager breeder. Those are his builds. The bulk storage silos are actually his builds too. As far as like the redstone and stuff. Um, so, but I also follow Silent Whisperer, who's another Bedrock creator. And I use some of his stuff too. I tend to use more of Prowl's designs than Silent's. I seem to be able to follow along with Prowl's thought process a little better when it comes to actually following a tutorial and building the thing. is. Alright, let's get another. There's some more over here. Is it more of the same vein, or is it a whole another one? Yeah, and it's not like, I mean, I like silence content, but for some reason I find browse tutorials a little easier to follow. Dripstone, huh? Alright. I still don't know whether this is the tail of that other diorite or a new one. Oh, that's the tail. Alright. So I'm not going to spend time digging this out. I'm going to go find another one. Let's go up. Channel points. Channel points are things that you earn for sitting in stream and hanging out and interacting, and you can use them. Yeet. You can use them for emotes and stuff like that. You can also, that's different from bits. Bits are used to tip streamers. Oh, there's some diorite over here. And I am fine tunneling all this out because my goal, long term, is to put in a really extensive series of like of tunnels down here. It's going to feed into a sewer system that connects the whole city together, um, and eventually lead to another zone, another area, because um, this is Trader's Gate in the world, in this world. Remember that what we're doing is we're building what was my D&D campaign setting in Minecraft. So the first place we're starting is a town called Trader's Gate, which a city called Trader's Gate, which was owned by the Rune, RHUN, which are my world's dwarf equivalent. I don't use generic species names like dwarf, elf, and so on. So Trader's Gate is their city that they use to interact with the outside world. And so there is a tunnel that goes underneath the sewer system that connects all the Trader's Gate together. Actually, also feeds into a tunnel that will take us over to the Rune Freeholds, the underground dwellings of the Rune. which for our purposes will be a cluster of ancient cities that are a cluster of ancient cities that are under one of the mountains to the west of us. There. It's like I just got a bot, so that's why I had to stop and take care of that. And I don't think you guys saw anything. Yeah, train of thought derailed there. That was me stopping to deal with that. So, right, because you guys didn't need to see it. So, I don't want them to keep spamming the channel. So, goodbye. I'm not going to get too distracted collecting andesite as well. Um, but I'll collect some, throw it in the system. Especially the stuff that's kind of in my way. It's another good block. Heh. How dare. How dare. Here, a skeleton. I think the odds are I'm going to break one of these blocks over my head and he's just going to parachute in on me. Oh, I'm pretty close to the surface. I'm hearing a wandering trader. How am I doing? Plenty. Oh, hello. What's going on over here? Let's light this up. Hello, friends. I saw a spooter. Oh, hello. Hit you with a pork chop. Alright. So these are those little spider caves that are right underneath my animal pens. Yep, there's a bunch of torches I placed. I like to dig out whole seams when I do this. You know, I know I'm going to need the stuff. Where's my shulker? I know I'm going to need the stuff. So I might as well dig it out. You know, I'm not going to hollow everything out. That would just be crazy. Yeah. There's like a soothing aspect to it, right? I mean, let's just shovel all this stuff in here. Sometimes I like just branch mining. Go dig for diamonds or whatever, even though you don't really need diamonds for anything. You know, if you do. But sometimes, yeah. I also like doing doing the trail ruins, like the archaeology stuff. I find that to be, you know, soothing too. I mean, it's a nice. It's not, you know, thrilling by any means, but it has a place. There's some interesting stuff you can get there. You know, it's not earth-shattering loot or anything. But it's kind of like what I said about the trial chambers too. I mean, you know, if you're underwhelmed by the loot in trial chambers, that means you waited too long to do it. If you're doing trial chambers in like early to mid game, they're hard, and the loot is pretty good. You know, it's only if you wait until late game where you're already running around in full diamond or netherite that you're like, oh well, there's nothing here that's any good for me. I also don't like leaving ores in walls. I understand it's, it's an illness. When I see that, you know, like one of the hermits or whatever has dug out a big area and they left a whole bunch of ores in the walls, makes me itch. Even though they don't need it for anything. You know, if they needed it, they would get it. So the other day when the Imp and Skiz were talking on their Naked and Scared series they started doing, then Impulse mentioned the fact that, Skiz can't leave coal in the walls. I'm like, I feel you. I'm in this picture. And I justify it by saying, hey, I mean, the ore blocks are cool decorative blocks even on their own. Even if I don't want to smelt down the copper and turn it into copper ingots, these blocks, if you silk touch them, they're pretty interesting looking. And if you don't silk touch them, then you can make ore blocks out of them, which those are visually interesting. So it gives you more textures to work with. But I'll admit that's what I tell myself. I do use them in builds, but that's a little bit of, finding a way to justify the activity that you're doing anyway. Alright, well, we've dug out this whole diorite seam. There may be one more layer underneath it. See, there's some coal right here. Oh, and a hole right here. Let's, oh, that didn't help. Let's just, do one of these. Like that. Alright. Right? There. Well, we don't have an entire shulker of diorite, but we got pretty good. And we don't need a whole shulker for what I'm doing. It's just, if I'm going to bother to dig it out, I might as well get a bunch of it. Get a bunch of it, put it in the system, and then it'll be there. And then next time I want some, I'll have it. And I do that with every bulk, every time I need something like granite or stone or whatever. Just looking around, make sure there's no... I'll bet you it's nighttime. It absolutely is nighttime. Here, let's do a little shriep. There we go. And get all this stuff shoved into the storage. Now, eventually, I am going to put a shulker box unloader on this. Oh, hello. What do you got? Nothing I care about. Okay, carry on. Eventually, I am going to put a shulker box unloader on this. And so I'll be able to just plop a shulker box down and have it feed right into the system. All right, that one's empty. Now, for this, that goes into bulk, that goes into bulk, that goes in, that goes in. This stuff goes in, and none of the rest of this. There we go. See, this is what raw copper looks like. That's an interesting little block. You know, there's a lot going on there. A lot of texture, a lot of different colors. And coal's good because it's a nice black block. Alright, let's go get this stuff down below, and then by then that diorite will be in the system and we can... It's funneling in as we speak, right over there. See that? Alright, let's put this other stuff... Ow. Those were my personal ankles. Yeah, it's part of one. The problem with them is, like with so many blocks, there's just blocks. So there's no slabs and stairs with coal, so you would have to use something else to get the shape. Otherwise, in order to build something that's a statue, like a statue, out of whole blocks, it would have to be massive in order to have the scale be right. Oh, boop. All right, that's that. Part of the reason why I haven't put the bubble elevator in yet is because I don't quite know where I want it to be. And a shaft with a ladder on it is inconvenient to travel but easy to move. A bubble elevator, that's a little fussier. So I'd rather, figure out where I want to put it and then put it there and be done. So let's get some more of these diorite stairs in. Well, we can start right here. Can I just get up there? He asked. The answer is yes. Yes, he can. Huh. Question is, can he get over there? And the answer is no. No, he cannot. There we go. Nope. Try it again. Just keep placing blocks wrong until you manage to do it the right way. Alright. To be fair, that one's a little fussy. Because we were close to the edge. This is where having one of those mods that shows your light levels would be handy. Because I'd like for sure to know that, up here is going to be lit up enough that I'm not going to get stuff spawning in here. Not that you'll ever be able to get in here. But although there is enough room here, we could have a little secret crawl space if we wanted to. Could this be where the smuggling chambers are or something? Hidden up in the ceiling. Why am I still crouching? You watch, I said that, and then I'm going to yeet myself right off the edge. Well, I'm going to do it anyway because I need more blocks. You know what? I'm going to do 2 stacks. I'm definitely going to use 2 stacks. I cannot imagine that I'm going to need less than 2 stacks to get all the way around. No. Well, let's get the next one placed. There we go. There we go. There, that's that whole side. Second verse, same as the first. Yeah, it's gonna look good. There's an opening to the sky. See right there. I don't know what I want on top of that from there, so that's as far as I went with the blocking. We'll build that and then see where it goes. I know I wanted the iron farm enclosed. I have a vague idea that I'm going to do uh, like a Byzantine style dome structure around a central dome with my original plan involved half domes around the sides. Just when I was thinking about it. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's gonna be slick. And there's gonna be a wall here. This right here, this line right here is gonna be a wall. And it may kick in at some point, to give up more room, but all right. It's at least 2 more stacks. And we're going to replace the floor, obviously, still. This is just the stone. Oh, wait a minute. I've already got stairs. Hang on. I don't want to make so many of these that I end up having a ton of them. Weird. You see that? This corner did... Oh, that's the outside. Okay. Huh. Interesting little jank on the texture. No, too far. I'm turning my head like it does anything. I feel like I'm a dog. Trying to get an angle on it, so I'm turning my head like it does anything. Jeez. That's like when you're playing video games with a controller and you do this with it to make the guy jump. I think everybody has at some point or another. Get plugged in. Yeah, well. Did I really run that all the way around? I really did. Okay. How many more of those do I need? Yeah, I don't need 2 more stacks. I just needed one in a little bit. I need like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more total. And then we can put the block in the middle. And with that one, it's a full block, so we have a lot of latitude on what we do there. Including top and bottom textures on things. There. Alright, so now we just have that, and then we have this strip going all the way around. This is all going to get covered up too. Don't worry, they're not there yet. So now let's figure out what we're going to do with that run all the way along. A colorful block? Yeah, probably. Now, options. We could sleep. We could introduce more copper, but we've already got the copper there. We could bring this or this down. So we could use this red or this lighter granite red down there. I think that the stripped mangrove log would look. It doesn't have a. It doesn't. It's the texture is pretty subtle and it doesn't have the separation lines, so it'll run pretty smoothly. So that red right there. Or the lighter granite one. I suppose we could do a blue. There's not a whole lot of blue blocks. I heard a witch. Bye, creeper. Yep, I did hear a witch. I would say this or something or one of these variations, but it's only on the vertical. I don't think you can lay these down. I don't think these are directional the way that I want them to be. Are they? Oh, they are. Alright, so that's an option too. Could do the black. That we could do this black stone with the red in it, or this one with the spirals. That might look really good, actually. Tempted to give this a try. What do you think? I'm tempted to give this one a try. Along the ceiling with the running with the verticals that back and forth along the ceiling. That might be really cool. Want me to show them to you again? The helix one. So there's this one that's got the dots, right? Hole, dot, hole. And then there's this one that's got the spirals, this double helix thing going on. I think the double helix one is the better for running along the ceiling like that. Could be pretty cool. Let's go get some. It's blackstone. Ow. It's in all the blocks. Variation of blackstone. Use the stone cutter. We'll do this one stack as a tester. We're gonna need more stacks, uh, but I may or may not have enough blackstone. I may have to go into the Nether to get it. And then the trick is going to be the corners. Like, so that's the other piece. Is what are we going to do on the turn and on the intersections? We're going to have to think of something. All right. Now this is directional. So I place that one, and then I break that one, like that. And then we gotta think of something to put in that corner. Cause where to go? Yeah, we want a different block in the corners. Not just in the corners. We're gonna want it on the like this T intersection here. We're gonna need to do something here too. And maybe even all the way on the end, because this just stops. I don't necessarily like that. So let's leave that block open as an option for something to do there on the end. Or maybe the copper again. Maybe we put a block of copper in there to bridge it all. And we can look at the red terracotta. Maybe there's a something on the red terracotta with all the blocks. Maybe there's something we can do with that to uh, kind of bring it in a little bit. Let's see. How far did a stack get me? That's going to be another stack and change. Probably. So let's get 2 stacks. And then I've got some red terracotta. somewhere. I have one. I have one. Uh, all right, we'll worry about that in a minute. Grab a couple of stacks of black stone. All right, this is done. Come on, there we go. And we might expand this out to be a full T of whatever that spacer block is. Might not just have it go to one. I might have it go to a T shape. We'll see. All right, how many more do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10? 2, 3. 10 more. That's looking sharp. Yeah, that's got some style to it, huh? Now, what do we do here? I'm tempted to use one of these chiseled copper right here and put it there, because that'll, again, bridge things together. Just bring a little copper from the edges to the middle. And I think that the chiseled is a good look. Because I don't know that I want it to be. I mean, although a plain block would also be good, I don't think that the cut block is the right answer. Let's get some bits. was thinking these, but textured. Or these, but oxidized, rather. Or all the way oxidized copper. All the way oxidized copper is upstairs in bulk storage. Understanding that this is going to age. Could also bring that down too. That actually might be better. Although I kind of want to let these age. So I'm going to put these in and let them age. But an alternative is going to be those. Which is a similar idea, but red like this. So it's unifying color-wise. Alright, we got the ceiling in. Now, unsure whether this is going to stay or not. I'm going to let these oxidize and look at them, because I have a feeling that with it turning this color, that's going to kind of draw the color up to the ceiling, and then it'll kind of unify the whole thing. Because we've got this kind of gray and white thing going on, and then we have this red as a contrast, and then this would bring back in with this. I think that'll go well, but let's wait and we got to wait and see, let that oxidize and see how it goes. Next is going to be the wall, and figuring out where that wall actually is, and how much of this stuff is going to be walled off by it. That wall is going to start right here and run along here, and I think it's going to at least go to here. But we might wall off this whole thing. Hey, Spanner. Welcome. You arrived just about in time for me to wrap it up for tonight. It is that time. But I'll give you a chance to let you see what we did. We put in a ceiling in our bulk storage. So this right here. So that this copper up here on the top I did off stream, and then now this ceiling line all the way along here, and there's going to be a wall here like that along this side. And so that's our ceiling along this line. And it kind of does this, and it spreads out. The copper is there. My intention is to age it like this to get this kind of get that oxidized color, and to bridge this across so that this will then connect with this, and then kind of help color unify things. And these are here to keep the baby zombies out. Block. Probably not walls, because these are going to be block, and so it's probably all going to be block. Yeah. Also, wall does weird stuff when it's got stuff on the side, right? It's like I don't want it to get that ripply of texture to it. Cool. Appreciate it. Decided after last week when we did some more, adventure stuff, it would be good to get back and get a little building done. So, all right. that's where we're going to wrap it up here tonight. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you, everybody, for visiting. I hope to see you again. I stream on Wednesday nights. Um, so 19:30 to 21:30 usually Eastern time. So sometimes I stream on Sundays too, but that's less reliable. I am doing everything I can to be here, Wednesday nights, and have tried to be here pretty predictably. So that's my one dedicated day so far. As time goes on, maybe we'll expand it, but that's where we are right now. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care, everybody, and stay safe out there. We'll see you later. Bye.